Now, translated into 6 languages and in its 18th print run, the award-winning book Baby Sense has become South Africa's best-loved baby care book. Drawing on the expertise of occupational therapist Faure and nurse and midwife Anne Richardson, Baby Sense provides a clear view of a baby's sensory development, emotional engagement and practical issues of the first year of life. Here to share some wisdom, we have Faure herself in the loft. Welcome.
Hi, nice to be here. Megan, I absolutely love Baby Sense. It was my Bible after I had my baby. It actually even had dog's ears, and I passed it on to somebody else who was pregnant. But you totally revolutionized the way we looked at raising our children and being mindful of their sensory environment. How did that approach come to you?
I'm an occupational therapist, so my first love is the baby's brain and how it develops. And so, having specialised in sensory integration, I took that information from my practice, and when I had my first child, started to apply it to my child. And I'd often say to my husband, no, don't do that. You're overstimulating him, or it's time for downtime because he needs to sleep, because he needs to recharge his sensory load. And one day my husband said to me, you know what, you've got to write this down, because if you know this stuff about the baby sensory world and haven't shared it, it won't be right. So that's how Baby Sense came about.
And it's such a fascinating, thing, the gift of life. I've got a new 12-week-old godchild. She's the cutest thing ever, but it's the most amazing thing watching them grow. Like now she's only just, you can see that can see us, like she's just connecting with us in our eyes, and it's such an amazing thing. But how do you know what to do as a mother, and when do you know when is right?
No, you don't know what to do, and you're completely terrified.
Until you read Baby Sense.
Well, I don't know. Even then, I think you're still terrified. It is really the most scary experience for many mums, because we come into motherhood having done our life very successfully. And now suddenly we landed with a baby that we actually don't know what to do with it. We don't know how to feed, when to put to sleep. And so it creates a lot of anxiety for new mums. And so you almost do need a manual, but at the same time, a baby doesn't come with a manual, and every baby's different. So with Baby Sense, we had to get that balance of kind of generalising it for many babies, but making it very specific to a woman's own baby.
You speak a lot about the calm, alert state that we all love our babies to be in. How does one actually achieve that?
Yeah, I mean, our babies go through different states in the day. Sometimes they're asleep and sometimes they're awake. But one of the magic states that, Bonnie, you're talking about is that state when they are focused, they're making brain connections, their body is still while they're learning, and it's a very special state. And the way that you create that state is by not overstimulating your child, because when they are overstimulated, they can't take anything in because they're feeling anxious, and it's just too much. You also have to have regular sleep times, and so a sleep routine becomes very important, because an overtired toddler, I mean, we've all seen a toddler climbing the walls, an overtired toddler's not learning from their world, they're not engaging properly, because they're not in the calm alert state.
How do we get most adults to be in the calm alert state?
I mean, sleep is obviously a big deal in the first year, and even other years to come if you don't get it right in the first year.
Okay, but how do you get a baby to sleep?
No, it's a tough one, and it's especially hard for mums, because sleep deprivation is the worst form of torture, and in that state of complete sleep deprivation, we mother our babies in the early days. So, I mean, a couple of things for the mums is definitely to watch their baby's awake time. How long is a baby awake will determine when they should go to sleep, and so that's how you can actually set up a day routine. And if you catch it right, you'll actually be able to settle your baby quite easily. I would say that's the #1 secret that mums can take from Baby Sense, is at awake times. And then also watching the baby's signals, because babies give us quite clear signals when we get to know it. I mean, the little babies might rub their eyes or pull at their ears. The toddlers might start to pick their nose. So they're all giving you all these signals that I'm actually overtired and I need some downtime. So that's how you establish good sleep habits.
Now, let's discuss crying, because is it true that babies have different cries for different things? And then how do you stop a baby from crying? I know when I'm holding my goddaughter, her mother goes, oh, 5S her. And I'm like,
okay, so we know which book she's reading.
The 5 S's. Jeannie's very well versed in the 5 S's.
I'm a fairy godmother.
Sounds like it. Yeah, so, I mean, crying's a massive one, because also it's the baby's first language. And actually, I don't know that I believe that babies have different cries for different things. I think a mother gets to know her baby's cry along the way. But in the early days, every cry sounds the same. So you don't know if they're tired or hungry or overstimulated.
And every baby's cry sounds like yours.
Yes, absolutely. And I've stood in Pick and Pay rocking my trolley when somebody else's baby's crying.
Sweet.
So, crying brings it out in us. But yes, the 5 S's, that's how VCARPs work. And we talk about the 7 S's. And they are shushing, swaddling, a sling, soothing sounds like white noise. And these are all wonderful strategies for when a baby is colicky and crying, because if you've missed the awake time and you've got an overtired, fractious baby, you want to reenact that womb world. And so we look at the womb as the ideal environment for a baby, and we say, let's recreate that afterwards. So swaddling is tight and containing and nurturing the baby, and so in that way it inhibits the cries.
Recreating the womb.
Completely. And that's
but what happens when the baby's too big for that and still crying?
The womb world actually still works very well for older kids as well. I mean, white noise is something that can help them
like
settle.
Men? Does it work for men?
I don't know about that. Leave him on his own.
Now, colic can be a big issue, and it can be a nightmare for moms who have
what
colic
is colic?
babies.
Yeah, colic's really interesting because it's actually a misnomer. What colic actually means is abdominal discomfort. And when you've got a baby who's crying a lot, the way that they pull up their legs and go red in their face, you think they must have a sore tummy. There must be something, there must be pain. But in actual fact, colic has more to do with what's going on in the brain than it has to do with what's going on in the tummy. Because the baby becomes overstimulated towards the end of the day, like at 5 o'clock, which we call witching hour or horror hour. And they start to niggle, and then all the stimulation that goes on in the environment then, like dad coming home, having a bath, having a feed, completely overwhelms them, and before long they start to cry, and colic can last for up to 3 hours.
I get colic.
Wow.
We do actually, you know, I mean, it's true. As adults, what we do, and particularly before we have kids, is we'll go for a jog, we'll have sundowners, we'll watch soap operas, whatever it is. And that's our time of day where we kind of just defrag. The problem is when you've got a baby, you can't do those things. So.
That's true.
Thank you so much for chatting to us. Well, we've got so many more questions to ask you because you're preparing me to be a mother. Today we are giving away copies of Baby Sense by Megan Faure and Anne Richardson. All you have to do is SMS the keyword books, your name and city, to 33728 to stand a chance. SMSs cost R1.50 each. T's and C's apply and are available on afternoonexpress.co.za.
After the break, we're chatting to dietitian Rochelle O'Grady about proper nutrition for babies, and she'll be showing us how to make her healthy lentil, chickpea and feta salad, my favourite. We'll be right back.